to show you that someone who is so undisciplined like myself can still get to that. Hi everyone, welcome if you are brand new to this channel and welcome back if you are not. My name is Fionn. I am a 30-something new mom who is trying to reclaim my life again, and I am using this channel as a medium to do so. I embarked on my second 72-hour fast as a treat for myself for my 34th birthday over the last couple weeks. And in this video, I kind of wanted to reflect and tell you some of my observations about my 72-hour fast. I also wanted to show you the results of the fast and then kind of just some other takeaways as well. I am not a doctor, and this is not medical advice, of course, but I am someone who is doing this in my life, for real, actually doing this. And so, I'm hoping that your takeaway is that someone like me who is very undisciplined, who is trying to seek discipline in her life and focus and all those good things, if I can do a 72-hour fast 2 times now, so can you. And so that is truly what this video is about, is to, if you are thinking about it, which may be why you landed on this video, this is to encourage you to just try it. You really have nothing to lose. It's free. There's absolutely no commitment that you have to do. You just can do it for as long as you want to. And then obviously, if you have other health conditions going on, speak with your providers about that. But for the average person, and that is me, anybody can do it, I think. And it is an amazing way to just reset everything. So if you follow along, you will be able to see what I think will be my glow up. It has been a struggle the last couple years because I was pregnant and large. I felt huge. I felt uncomfortable. Just trying to eat whatever you can because you got to keep your milk supply up. Honestly, it's just a very stressful state. My baby is now 1 and I feel more comfortable taking these fasts a little bit more seriously. I do plan to do a fast like this, a 72-hour fast, 4 times a year. I'm gonna do it once a quarter. And I think it's just every time I do one of these, it's just a good reminder for me to stick with my meal plan, stick with my goals, go to the gym. It really does motivate me to do more than just not eat and abstain from food for 3 days. So what led me here? What even led me down this path of fasting? Well, I have PCOS. I am a pre-diabetic. And in general, I just wasn't happy with how I looked. Again, yes, I did go through a lot of stuff with childbirth and stuff, but I've always dealt with some form of body dysmorphia my entire life, even before a baby, even when I was in my 20s and I thought I was fat. There were so many things that led me down this path, and fasting is not going to cure that, because that is a mindset thing, okay? If we're not sticking to our meal plan, if we're not going to the gym consistently, if we're not happy with our body, those are all mindset things that we need to tackle. However, the fast helps with motivating you to stay on the course. At least it does for me. So I know that I cannot fast for too long or too often, unless you're doing intermittent fasting, which is another story. But an extended fast, I know I couldn't do it for very long before it starts affecting my metabolism. And so I use these once a quarter as a reset and a reminder for myself to continue on the path of doing good for my body. Yes, I will lose a little bit of weight from this, but again, most of it is mental. And you will see, if you decide to go on this path, you will see the mental changes in yourself. If you can go 3 days without food, you can pretty much do anything. And that's what you're telling yourself. You're literally telling yourself that anything is possible, because food is so important and such a huge part of our lives. We literally plan things around food. We plan our lives around food and meal times and hunger. We plan things around it. It's such an integral part of our life that if you can go without this massive thing in your life, you can do anything, And I truly believe the more you do this, the easier it gets. So The first one I did, if you'll watch that video, I can link it as well, I think somewhere. But that fast was so much harder than this second one. This second one felt much, much easier. Like I wasn't even thinking about food on that second day. And by the second day actually by the end of the first day on the first fast, I was already so hungry. I was just like thinking about food. But this second one, I mean, it went by like that. It was so quick. And so I think that the more you do this, the better you get. I am working up towards a 5-day fast. I don't know when that is, but I do plan on doing it at some point over the next year or so. A lot of fasting is mental. And I think that that's why we kind of get tripped up on it, is because we're not actually like starving. We just miss food. We miss the taste, we miss the texture. So much of it is mental. So if you can talk yourself out of it or talk yourself into sticking with this, that's the part right there. That's what I'm trying to get at, is that you can talk yourself into anything. And the older I get, the more I realize that anything is possible if you're delusional enough to go and get it. That is literally the key. I have a lot of distractions. So right now I have my 1-year-old, but I also like to puzzle. I like to read. And what I like to do is I also like to read books that are about the benefits of fasting while I'm fasting. Books or articles. It doesn't have to be like a full-on book, but books or articles are nice because then it just like reiterates. You're just doubling down on why you're doing this in the first place. And it's so helpful. I read I think it was the Diabetes Code by Dr. Jason Fung the first time. And for my second fast, I was reading the Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. And it's just helpful. And I also finished a puzzle during this time. So it's just like really good to have these distractions. They're super necessary because it is very natural for us to just think about food. We center our lives around food. During this fast, I also purged things from my house. I took this opportunity to okay, I have time right now because I'm not taking time making a meal and then having to clean up after that meal. So I am going to take this time to purge unwanted items from my home so that I can have this when I'm done with all this, it's truly a clean slate for everything. And so, yeah, I went in the garage, cleaned up the garage. I cleared out a bunch of stuff. I scheduled a dump day with the city and they came and grabbed everything pretty much by the end of the week, by the end of my fast. And it was wonderful. The feeling of having just that feeling of literal lightness is so incredible. It's so incredible. This time around, I had a net loss of about 4 pounds. And this time was less than the time previously because I just have less weight to lose now. I am down to 161 pounds. And from my first fast, which I think was back in I don't remember actually, it was a few months ago. But from my first fast to now, I'm down about, I want to say 10 or 11 pounds, and I feel great. I still have more weight to lose, but I feel so much lighter physically, and it honestly helps me go to the gym because I feel lighter to be able to do some of the exercises. I'm not as winded on the treadmill. I still can't really run very well, but I feel just lighter and I feel like I can go a little bit longer at the gym. So what's next? What's next for all this? So I mentioned that I am going to be doing this fast once every quarter. And I also do intermittent fasting almost every day. Sometimes if it's we want to go have breakfast or brunch is a little bit earlier, I'm going to allow myself to have that flexibility. I don't think that you have to be so strict with yourself with these things. If you know that you're 90% good, you get an A, you're great, and you can allow yourself that 10%. If your goals are really to just feel better, look a little trimmer, and not be bloated every single day all the time, then getting to that 90%, it will help significantly. And I'm still trying to get there. I would say for myself, if I were truly evaluating myself, my eating habits, my working out habits, I would say that I'm at an 80%. I'm almost to 90%, but I'm still not there yet. I'm still a B, right? And I I take this video not to say that I'm an expert, but to show you that someone who is so undisciplined like myself can still get to that point. I hope, with consistency and just like reminding myself that I can do it. What's next is the scale means nothing. So even at 161 pounds, I'm very soft. Like my belly's soft, my arms are soft, everything is very soft still. So that is why they always say the scale truly means nothing, because we still have to go in and do some strength training. We still have to go in and do some cardio in order for us to like tighten that up. I'm going to focus on body recomposition. So I'm truly going to try not to look at the scale for the next couple months and just hit the gym, not super hard, because I've just never been a gym girly. I cannot hit it. Like I can't PR every single time I go to the gym, but I am going to go consistently. And I have like my split set up. For me, I need a little variety in my workouts. I cannot just do legs for like 2 hours straight. It just doesn't work for me. I can finally do a push-up, which is amazing. I have been consistently going to yoga for about 6 months now. I've been going consistently, and I've noticed that when I do the chaturanga, is that what it's called? Chaturanga, I can actually do it. Here is proof that I can do a chaturanga. I gotta take these socks off. Okay, can you see? Shift forward. Ooh. Did you see that? I could not do that like 2 months ago. Crazy, because I've never been able to like, I've always just like flopped on the ground. I've never been able to actually like hold myself up and then even push myself back up. So that is insane, but it just goes to show even slow progress is progress, y'all. So we just have to stick with it. That's literally it. There is nothing else that you could be doing that's better for yourself than to stick with your goals, because the time is going to pass anyways, you know? Like, yeah, I know it's going to take 2 years for me to get to the point where I probably feel really good about my body, but the time's going to pass anyway. So like, why don't we just do it? We just stick to it, you know, and just like, don't really overthink it. And I think that's like a big takeaway that I've gotten from fasting, is just to like, just don't overthink things. 72-hour fast sounds way too daunting, which I totally understand. Start with 24, then move to 48, then move to 42 or a 72. Or do a bone broth fast, or do intermittent fasting, which is like eating in a smaller window every day. You could even do like, if you're like, hey, I want to take it a step up for intermittent fasting, you can do a 6-hour eating window and only eat from like 12 to 6. And that in itself is like a challenging thing for you to start with. Like, no one is saying that you need to, you know, jump in a pool and just know how to be an Olympic swimmer. Like, no one is saying that, and no one's going to judge you for that, you know? And I still get a lot of gym anxiety and just anxiety for trying things in general. But I think that I'm trying to get out of that. I'm actively trying to get out of that mindset that I need to be an expert, when in fact, everyone, literally everyone, starts at the beginning. So I hope that this encourages you to try something, even if it's not fasting. I hope it encourages you to just try something that you haven't before. See you next time.